Today I'm going to show you how to navigate the annual buy co-op catalog and order items from that catalog. First, to get to the marketplace, you need to go to our website at www.nesucoop.org, and in the middle of the page, select the button called ESUCC Marketplace here. And if you should already have your account set up. If not, you'll have to watch the video on how to set up your account. But go ahead and sign into the marketplace with your credentials. And when you get to this page, you're going to see a number of menu selections here. I'm going to scroll down and show you the different catalogs that are available. And the main one that we're going to be searching on today is the annual buy. We do have a number of vendors down below in their catalogs. These are not on the annual buy. So if you're actually wanting to order annual buy items, go to the one up above. Otherwise, if you order the same product from these other vendors, it may cost more because it's not an aggregated order. And these items ordered from these other vendors will deliver immediately. So if I create an order to Staples and submit that order through one of these catalogs down below, it's probably going to come within this week and arrive at the school district. So likewise, you're not going to be able to search the annual buy catalog from up above. So the search criteria that you have for categories and or suppliers, you're not going to be able to search the annual buy up above. And likewise, the categories that run down the left-hand side are not going to have anything to do really with the annual buy. So to access the annual buy, I'm going to scroll down under Featured Suppliers, and we're going to see a couple catalogs listed here right now. We have the annual buy catalog, and then we have another catalog that's has some other items that are going to be available year-round, such as learning management systems, World Book, and Movie Licensing USA will be available there too on a certain timeline though. So today though, we want to go into the annual buy catalog. So if I look and find the tile for that and click on the globe below it, that'll punch me out to the site. But before doing that, I am going to point out we do have a calendar icon listed here that will give you the timeline for the annual buy. So if you didn't want to go into the store, here's how you can look and find the timeline for the annual buy. But we're going to go ahead and punch out to the store by clicking on the globe. So I'm going to click the globe. It takes me to the annual buy store. Once I get to the store, there's a couple navigation things that'll help you out. If I ever want to go back to the marketplace, up above I have a yellow banner, and if I click on the link up there, it will return me back to the marketplace. So it takes me right back. So I'm going to punch back out, go to the store. Within the store, we have a number of things and description about the annual buy listed here. So we're going to have just some informational items about what categories we have available. And then we're going to have the PDF catalogs. So if you want to download a catalog and look at it that way, you can still do that. There's a no index listing. There's an Excel file listing, and then there's the subcategory listing catalogs, and these are full catalogs here. Then we also break them down by sections down below. Then we go into discussion about payment terms for the annual buy. The payment terms are net 45, and then the timelines and deadlines that we're looking at for the annual buy. So all teacher orders should be in by April 8th, which gives us another week for the agency admins at the school district to actually complete the orders, make sure they get approved by whoever they need to be approved by in the district. Then on April 18th, we're going to run order aggregation, and that'll take all those teachers' orders for the ship to address and put them into one line item per item in the catalog. And then April 19th through the 24th, then the agency admins are going to be able to log in and assign real POs to each order for each vendor. and I say assign orders or POs because that is the PO that will go to the vendor. It's not going to be the PO that was assigned during the teacher's order or anybody else's order at that time. It's going to get aggregated into one large mass order per vendor per ship to address. So any previously assigned POs are more or less generic POs until we get to this time period. So April 19th through the 24th, the district agency admins will be able to assign those real POs. And then on April 25th, we'll automatically send the orders to the vendors for you. Other information, vendor information. If you want to get contact information for those vendors, you can click and download that information here, along with W-9s if you're a business manager. So we have those listed also. And if you're going through the catalog and you can't find something, but you'd like to see it next year, we also have a product suggestion listing here that you can make suggestions for next year's catalog, and hopefully we'll put it in the catalog for you if we receive those. So to actually search the catalog, there's a couple ways to do this. If you come up to all products and click on the download there, you're going to be able to navigate to each section of the catalog from here. So if I want to go to general supplies, I can click that. It's going to take me to the very beginning of the general supplies section. At this point, there are some categories on the left-hand side, although not all of our categories are showing. This is one thing I'm working with the vendor, and hopefully that we can get all the categories within the 200,000 section to show over here. But it does truncate those off. Then you can also do a sort by manufacturer. So if I'm only looking for Avery product, I can check mark that, and then I just see the Avery as the manufacturer items. Likewise, if I want to narrow it down to Brown and Sanger Avery items, I can check mark that, and then I just get the Brown and Sanger items. But what we're looking for is we're just going to browse page by page maybe. I just want to look at everything in this section, 200,000 sections, so I can scroll down and start viewing each page of these. And when I get to the bottom, I have the page numbers that I can paginate through and just kind of browse these. When I find an item that I want, I can add it to my cart. One little trick, if you use the back button, it gets you back to that page that you were just on, because when I add an item to my shopping cart, it shows me my shopping cart, and then I have to navigate back to these pages. So I do utilize the back button in this purpose. And so if I continue to browse through this section and add items as I see I need them, I can do that. So maybe I need 2 of these. I'm going to add 2 to the cart. Again, hit my back button. And if I go on to page 4, maybe I want to see how these are packaged. 200, 565. They are 12 per package. And that previous page, it did say per dozen. But there's oftentimes, I don't know what the package, how they're packaged. So it's good to come in here and look at the description. And for most of the product, we've put it in there. If you have any questions, you don't know how it's packaged, just drop us an email. We'll update the marketplace with the correct product description if we missed it when we wrote the catalog. And so at this point, I'm going to add this to my cart also. And if I go back 2 pages here, I can continue to just paginate through. The other way I can do this is I can actually do the same, but if I want to see the whole catalog, I wouldn't enter a search criteria and I hit search. And this would begin from the 100,000 section goes up to the 900,000 section. So essentially I have all these sections again. But I haven't gone to a specific section. I'm just starting at the beginning of the catalog. And then I can paginate through here also. And so if I want one of these overhead marking pins, I can add that to my cart. go to my next page, add an item here. And at this point, if I want to go back to that home page that I originally was on, I can always click on the logo, the Nebraska ESUCC Coordinating Council logo up above, and it'll take me back to that main page. Another way to search is I can search by item number. So if I enter in, and maybe I've gone out and downloaded the PDF and I know exactly what the co-op item number is, I can enter 900-140 and search for that item number, and it comes up. And then I can add that to my cart also. I will say, if I close my window right now by clicking on the X up here, I will lose everything in my cart. Or if I leave my cart sit for longer than an hour without making a mouse click on here, it will time out and I will lose my cart. So it's not always bad that if I get 10, 15 items in here to go ahead and check out. What that does is when I hit checkout, it transfers the cart back into the marketplace itself. And this is the marketplace cart. At this point, I can sign out and not lose my cart. And so maybe lunch came around and I need to quit. So I went ahead and checked out all my items. I'm going to go ahead and sign out, go to lunch. I'm going to come back, log back in. And when I do, if I look up above in the upper right-hand corner, I've got a shopping cart item or icon. And I see 7 items in that shopping cart for $72.98. And if I click on that, it'll take me and show me my cart. So this is the cart we created earlier. And so this is how I can save my cart. If I go back into the marketplace and punch back out to the annual buy store again, I can add additional items to my cart. And so let's go to athletics, and maybe I need a stopwatch. I'm going to buy this cheap one here. And maybe some blanks for my .32 caliber pistol, starting pistol. Then I'm gonna need some mouth guards, and we want the blue ones, so we're gonna go ahead and add those. Before I do that, I'm probably better check. Yep, there's 25 per package. I probably better order 2 of those. And so you noticed it updated it to 3 because I already had 1 in my cart. So I'm going to correct that and change that to 2 and say update. And now my cart's correct. And at this point, if I check out again, what you're going to see is it's going to add these items to my previous cart. And so it's updating my cart as I go. And so just for a safety factor, I have had a couple users call and say they have lost their shopping cart in the middle of shopping. So again, I'd caution you. I'd say probably check out often. That way you don't lose items. As long as you get it transferred back into that marketplace cart, everything should be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and add a few more items, and then we're going to finalize our shopping for the day. And so I'm just browsing through the science section, and I'm going to need some beakers here. I only need 1 case of those. And so I'm going to add those to my cart. And so now maybe I'm done shopping. Before I do that, I will say something about the quick order feature. I would not utilize it this year. We had a number of part numbers that changed after we published the PDF catalogs. And so if you try and use a supplier, and you got to use the supplier part number in here, if you try and utilize that, there's a number of them that are going to be incorrect because we did a huge revision. So when we deliver these orders, it'll be correct on the vendor's end. So I wouldn't even use the quick order, but the idea is to, from the PDF catalog, you know the quantities already, and you would enter that supplier part number and the quantities, supplier part number, quantities, and then you'd say add to cart. So you could quickly add multiple items in one shot. Again, we're going to be working with the vendor on this. So the last item, if I want to go up to my shopping cart, finalize my cart, yep, that's correct. I'm going to go ahead and check out. And at this point, I'm done shopping for the annual buy process, and I'm going to say I'm going to go ahead and check out. And so it takes me to this page, and what I need to do is verify a shipping address, a billing address, and my payment method. So to verify my shipping address, I come up to Browse, and these are going to be addresses that only an agency admin adds for your school district. So if you don't see the one you need to go talk probably to your business manager or one of the secretaries at the school. So I'm going to go ahead and browse, and I'm going to find the address that I'm looking for, and that's actually, if it quits moving here, this one here. And so I'm going to hit that, and that was already saved in there. And after my first order, it will save these addresses for me, so it'll default to these. The billing address, most school districts only have one. Likewise, we only have one for the CC. And then the payment method. On your first order, it's going to default to credit card. Make sure you change that to purchase order. And if you don't know a purchase order number, just leave it blank. The system will generate one for you automatically, or an approver on down the line will put one in. A lot of times we put the business manager as the last approver in the district, and they can edit this PO number and enter it for you. Likewise, it should probably be a generic PO, because after we aggregate orders on the shipping address, this PO is not really going to matter that much, because it's going to be the one that's on the aggregated order that goes to the vendor. So at this point, I can sit here and review my items by vendor. So it breaks it out nicely down below on which vendors this order is going to, or requisition is going to be sent to. I can expand those items. The desired delivery date, I would not worry about that for the annual buy, because we have a set timeline that vendors have to deliver by without penalty. So they're going to ignore this anyway, especially when we're looking at specific delivery dates that they can only deliver on. So I would just ignore that information, but it does give you the manufacturer and the manufacturer part number there. At this point, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. Now, there's some options down here that you can look at. Adding a comment is really comment for approvers only. It's not going to go to the supplier, so they're not going to see that information. And if you want to notify others of the order that you're placing, you can do this. This comes in handy, especially in other catalogs if you placed a credit card order. For this order, for the annual buy, there shouldn't be any credit card orders. Most of them are going to be purchase orders. But then you could notify a business manager and say, these items were purchased on my credit card. And then I would ignore the attached files. Depends on the vendor system whether they can receive those or not. So I would never probably recommend attaching files. The two options you have over to the right is place your order, which would actually send the order into the approval chain for your district, and so then it would have to flow through that. Or save requisitions. Save requisitions, probably not a very good idea to click on. What that's going to do is it's going to save it for a future reference, and then you have to pull it up and actually place the order later on. And so I would not probably save requisition. I would always hit place order. So if you click place order, it will tell you if it was successfully placed, and it will go into what we call an approval chain. and go to certain people within your district that's already been defined for approval. And so at that point, you're pretty much done, and that completes our video about how to navigate the annual buy store.